What is up, my fellow YouTubers? Welcome back to MK Chip Money and Life TV, where we talk about how you can improve your financial position, career, and life. I am Mike, also known as MK the CPA, and you guys know my sidekick Chipper.
I'm here.
In today's video, I'm super excited to share with you, we're gonna be covering how you can pick the best 401k funds, or the best 401k investments in your company's 401k plans. Just so you guys know, this is gonna be the first video in a series that I'm producing on this. So kind of think of it like a class. So in this first video, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do an overview of the 5 steps, and then in the videos after this, we're gonna go into detail in a tutorial type of fashion where I show you how I go about doing each step so that you can mimic my process if you choose to do so. All right guys, and with that being said, let's dive right into this. So most of us have heard or kind of have an understanding of what a 401k is, right? I mean, it's where you put part of your income into this retirement plan, or basically we are deferring our income for a later time period. And when we defer our income, we don't have to pay tax on that money yet. So the idea is, guys, as you've probably heard, instead of being able to invest only 75 cents after taxes, because we're deferring our income, we're able to invest a whole dollar at a time. And so with that whole dollar, we're able to buy more units, our shares of this mutual fund. In other words, we're able to let our money grow quicker because we're able to put more in, and then it's taxed when we take it out at a later date. And of course, as you guys probably know, if we invest in this thing, in our 401k for the next 20, 30, 40 years, we should become rich, or wealthy enough to be able to retire. They say we'll be loaded in cash. So much cash, you'll be able to buy a boat. Now there's only one little problem with this whole investing idea in our 401k. We don't freaking know how to invest. No! School never teaches us how to do any of this, and yet we're supposed to rely on this 401k retirement plan for the rest of our life. Are you kidding me? So that is why I'm producing this video, is because I've come up with a process that has worked very well for me. Not that you have to use it, but I think it could help you. By the way, guys, I am by no means a professional investor, and so please do not take this as legal or investment advice. However, by using this process, I reallocated my funds at the end of 2016, or towards the end of 2016. And so far, just in this year alone, in 2017, for the first 6 months, I'm already ahead 20% on my 401k investments, and it's the best my plan has ever done. So I think this process could work for you, or at least hopefully help you get better returns in the future. So since school didn't teach us, what else can we do to learn about our 401k investments? Let me think for a second. Oh, I know. We can go talk to the financial advisor that comes to our company. You guys know what I'm talking about? It's that person who comes to your company or organization usually every 4 months to give you a market update, or when the market's really taking a dive. They come then. We can ask them, right? We can ask them to choose the best 401k investments for us, can't we? Actually, we'd be completely wrong if we were to assume that. See, financial advisors have a thing called a liability. Although they can advise us, and it's not a bad idea at all to talk to them and learn about the funds in your 401k plan, we cannot expect them to pick the investments for us. Most of them will not. Because if they say, okay, well, you invest in A, B, and C, and then do nothing else, well, what would happen is if later on, 20, 30 years down the road, your 401k investments tank, well, then that's gonna open them up to liability. This video is about choosing and picking the best 401k investments. This is truly about us, you and I, picking our own investments, because nobody else is gonna do it for us. So if we want the best rate of returns in our 401k plan and the best overall investing strategy, we're probably gonna have to pull the trigger ourselves, We can, like I said, we can bounce ideas off of them, off the financial advisors, but we still need to be the ones in charge of this. And with that being said, let's start going over the 5 steps to this investing process. Okay guys, the first step to choosing the best 401k funds in your 401k plan is to actually know what the funds are. So the first step is really fund choices. It's knowing what funds are available for you and I in our 401k plans. So how do we do that? Well guys, what we do is if you don't know where to go to learn about this, first you need to go to, I would recommend going to the human resources department of your company or whoever's in charge of that and say, hey, I want to learn more about my 401k plan and the funds that are available in that plan. Can you tell me or point me where to go so I can learn more about this? And also ask who's our 401k provider for our company? And just so you guys know, if you don't know what a provider is, it's usually the plan administrator who's helping your company manage their 401k plan. And so some examples would be 1, John Hancock, 2, Vanguard, or 3, Fidelity. Those are some of the most common 401k plan providers in the nation. So after you go and talk to your human resource department, what they're probably going to tell you is that there's a website online for that provider. So like you can go to vanguard.com, fidelity.com, and if you don't have an account created already, you'll go ahead and you'll set up an account, and from there you can look in the website and find the area where you'll see all the funds available to you. Each company and organization is going to have a different 401k plan. So your fund choices are truly going to vary by the provider of your 401k, but also how your company set it up. In my example, I have 60 choices available to me, 60 total fund choices. In your plan, you might have 100 choices or more. You might have less than 50. It all varies based on your company. And as you guys are doing this process, be thinking of having a pen and paper available. That will really help so that you can take notes as you go when you're doing your research. I really suggest using Microsoft Excel to do this because you can easily manipulate the data later, and that will help save you time going forward. Now you're probably thinking, well Mike, if there's 100 fund choices, how long is this gonna take me? Is it gonna take me all day? Well, you know, this could take you a couple hours, guys, but it is so worth your time to do this. Because think of all the years we spend working for our money, and if we're not trying to get the best return on our investments, it can literally cost us hundreds of thousands of dollars by not taking the time to do this. So we need to freaking do this and do it right, or the best we can. What I would recommend doing, because this is gonna take some time, is break your research into 1 to 2 hour chunks and then come back at a later time and do some more. All in all, this might take you a couple hours. I don't think it's gonna take you more than 10 hours to really go through all of your funds, but I would take the time to learn how to do this. Okay, on to the second step is criteria. To narrow down our search choices, or in our research time required, we're gonna select some criteria in that, because we don't wanna be spending the rest of our life researching 401k funds. None of us wanna do that. It is not very fun. It can be interesting for some people, but it's not the thing you wanna be doing at the end of the day, all the time. And so we're gonna pick criteria that's important to you. You know, like, for example, criteria that's important to me is I wanna know the fee structure, the fee ratio of each fund. I wanna know what funds have been around over 10 years, and of the funds that have been around over 10 years, who is performing the best over a 10-year period consistently. Those are the funds I usually start to target. So if you have 100 funds in your 401k plan, by selecting specific criteria, we're gonna try to narrow those down for you so you're really only researching maybe 25 out of 100 funds. And that way it's gonna save you a lot of time. And then after the process, after you've filtered through this process, we wanna find what we believe to be the top 10 or 15 funds in your entire 401k plan and go from there. Okay, step 3 is an obvious one, but we need to learn about the funds. Most people have no freaking clue what they're actually invested in. And it doesn't make sense to me, but they're just blindly investing and hoping it works out. Well, we can't do that, guys. We cannot get ahead financially or anything else in life unless we are truly intentional. We can't be slacking off at this. You can usually learn the most about the funds in your 401k provider's website. You can log into your online 401k account and read about the funds. You can see what companies each of these funds hold. Because if you don't know about mutual funds are made up of individual stocks. So in a sense, you are investing in individual stocks, except it's all in a group. We want to learn, what is this mutual fund made of? Is it mainly made of healthcare stocks? Is it mainly made up of blue chips? Is it made up of technology stocks? I think you guys get the idea. So that's number 3, learn about the funds as much as possible so that you actually know what your money's invested in. Number 4, use free resources for your research. There are so many free resources available to us online. We have more access to free information than any other generation in human history. So a simple one would be that I use a lot is Yahoo Finance, because these mutual funds have ticker symbols just like a stock. So you can go to Yahoo Finance, put in that ticker symbol, and you can see a visual graph of its stock performance. It's like a stock chart, basically. And you'll see that in a future video, and I'll show you how I analyze that. You can learn about the more about the company or the mutual fund from that vantage point. You can see visually how it does in good times and bad, and see if you would want to own it. Plus, there's other information on Yahoo Finance that will be available about that fund. And the great part is, it's easy to compare it to other funds on the same stock chart. So I'll make sure to show you guys that in a future video. 5th one, guys, is pick investments. After we've realized, hey, what funds are available in our 401k plan? After we've selected the criteria of what funds we're looking for or what we want our funds to have, after we've learned about the funds, and after we've used our free investment resources to learn more about this and do our analysis and research, now we're ready to invest. If you're already invested, great, no problem. Because after doing this process, you might find, hey, I don't want to be invested in this anymore, so I'll instead of investing in this, I'll invest in that. So you can then move your money out of that fund and put it in another fund, or you can just stop putting cash to that fund you already had and just redirect that cash to the new fund. That way you don't have to sell off your original investment if you don't want to. But we're gonna go into detail about that in the future. And if you guys have never invested at all, this is the perfect time to learn. And not only do I do this process for my 401k plan, guys, I use a similar process for my brokerage account investments, as well as my wife and I's Roth IRAs. So far it's been working for us, guys, and I think it can work for you, so give it a shot. In 2017, I just wanted to leave you guys with this. It has never been more important to learn how to invest than right now. Pensions are dead. Unless you work in certain government sectors, you're basically not getting a pension. In other words, the company is no longer gonna fund your retirement. Unfortunately, you and I have to bear that burden now, and that's just the way it is. That's the challenges our generation faces. So we have to learn how to properly invest, whether it's in our 401k, whether it's a combination of our 401k investments or something else, but we just have to learn to become investors. And like I said, unfortunately, school is not gonna be teaching this information anytime soon, or ever, I have no idea. Guys, this is a great opportunity to take control of your investments, your future, and if you guys can get higher rates of return on your investments, you can literally shave off years of your retirement because your money will compound that much faster. And so hopefully the idea is you won't have to work as hard or as long the rest of your life. All right, guys, make sure to hit that like button if you have not already. I would really appreciate your support. If you have any questions or comments, make sure to leave them in the comment section down below. I will definitely make sure to respond. Your homework for this week, I'm giving you homework. What? So by next week, what I would like you guys to have, find out what your fund choices are and make a list of all of your 401k investments. That's your homework for this week, and that will get you started. You can help us promote financial literacy and career and life success skills by thinking of just one person who you feel could benefit from this information and by sharing this video with them. You can share this video with them by hitting the share button on your computer or by hitting the share button from your cell phone. Thank you for all the love and support that you guys give me on this channel. Don't forget, you can follow us on Facebook and Twitter by hitting those address links over there. And if you're not already subscribed, make sure to do so by hitting the subscribe button down below or the subscribe button that is found below the video. All right, guys, as always, thank you so much for your support. I love you. I can't wait to see you next week as we dive further into this process so that we may choose the best investments in our 401k plan. I hope you guys will stick with me on this. I really think it's gonna be worth your time. Like I said, I've already gotten a 20% return for the first 6 months of this year, and I think you guys can get higher returns as well. I'll see you all in next week's video. Peace.